Hey everyone, NWA Prepper. So, in my last video, I talked about some quick examples of how to find like-minded people to form your teams or your crews or your MAGs. MAG stands for Mutual Assistance Group. So, to continue that a little bit, that takes some time. But when you decide that you want to spend some time with these people and get to know them a little better, then how do you do that? What do you do now that you've met them, you went for coffee a couple times, you're ready to start doing some things, your mag groupie things. Excuse me. So the number one thing that I can tell you to do is consistently meet. Consistently, whether it's once a week, once a month. I've been in groups that met like the third weekend of every month. That whole weekend from Friday night to Sunday evening was group time, and that worked really well for a long time. And as a matter of fact, it probably still works for that group, even though I don't know. I left the group. So once a week, an evening a week, and then special events such as work sessions or projects or things are kind of what we do now with who I'm with at the moment, which is I never intend on just being with a group for a moment. I'm trying to build a group forever, and I'm pretty pleased with what I have going on now. I'm very, very blessed. I'm very blessed. Very blessed. And that's wonderful. And I want you to have that too. And so that starts with consistently meeting. So let's say you're going to meet every Tuesday evening at, right after work or as soon as everyone can get there at 5:30. Well, where are you going to meet and what are you going to do? Well, the first thing is I think that every group needs to meet on a social level and a working level, both of them. And though work is social, we act differently when we're coming together for a training event or a class or a work project than we do when we're barbecuing or when we're just hanging out and around the campfire. So there needs to be a room for both, because you need to know these people not just when they've got their facade on of, okay, we're at a training class, this is me. You need to know who that person is when they're kicked back, when they're telling stories about their past and laughing and joking. You need to be through rough times too. You need to see how they're going to react in happy times, in regular times, and in upsetting times or stressful times. And that only happens when you're part of each other's lives. You have to communicate. You have to communicate, whether it's a weekly conference call or a daily text message or things that are going on in your life. You communicate with the group. For instance, my group, my wife is sick. She had to go to the doctor today. I share with my group, hey everyone, this is how my wife is. This is what's going on. Keep her in your thoughts and prayers for the day. We've got a concert coming up. This is what's going on with the kids. Somebody else says, hey, there's been a tragedy in my family. We're leaving town. We're like, okay, can we take care of the dogs and the animals? Do you need us to drive by the house? What can we do to help you through those times? Consistency is important. Now, our goal right now is to have the pattern that I like is a social event such as meeting and going to dinner, whether it's at on someone's front porch, on their back porch like this, or if it's out at a restaurant or whatever. a social activity, and then the next time either a training class or a work session. And the work sessions rotate. You know, it may be at my place, I may have a tree that I need to cut down, or may need to till my garden and get that garden. We all go to do that, or we go to Bobo's house and we put up a fence, or whatever it is. We disassembled a shed and moved a whole shed from one property to another. Those are things that we can do that don't take a whole weekend. They don't take hours and hours, particularly when you have like the shed project. Good Lord, there was 4 people taking the top off. There were 2 people getting trailers ready. There were 4 people getting, the sides and the straps ready. And then as those pieces came down, they were loaded on the trailer. And as soon as they could pull those screws out of a section of the roof or the wall or the floor, it was loaded on the trailer and secured and ready to go. It was a one evening it's down, the next week, the next evening it was back up. Those are things that are possible. And those are the things that I think are important, that you socialize, you spend time together, getting to know each other, listening to the stories of their youth and listening to the gripes of their jobs or the excitement of their church, and learning what they believe and what they feel, so that you'll share when something's wrong. When you've had a terrible day, your first instinct should be, man, I need to reach out. I need some of the guys to pray for me, or I just want to dump on one of the folks, and you can do that. Now, I don't dump all my negativity on my bride. I try not to. Of course, she's my primary. She's my best friend. And but there are things that I go to the group for. It's like, I've had a bad day, I call Bobo on the way home, or I call. And so then when we go through things like that together, we grow tighter together, or we learn that we're not compatible. Either one of those are equally important. You're dating. You are dating these people. You are trying to court them and see if they're someone that you want to go through thick and thin with. And you're going to run into people that you don't want to be around. You've learned that when they're stressed out, they're not who you want to be with. You're not compatible with them. Or you may learn that, or vice versa. They may learn that they don't want to be around you. You may learn that your beliefs are totally different, and that's not compatible. I do believe that your group should be founded on loving Jesus Christ. For me, Jesus Christ and your belief in him and some other religious aspects are the foundation of my friendships, my groups. And, everything needs to be built on that. Or I know it's not something to last. That may be different for you. It may be the love of red Ferraris that builds your connection and your group. Who knows? That's up to you and your group. Be consistent. Do things together. Do things that are fun. Do things that are challenging. Do things that are hard. Do things when things are not perfect. Don't cancel a training because it's raining. Just don't do it. Don't cancel a training because it's going to storm. Unless it's a safety factor. A comfort deal is you need to be uncomfortable around these people. They need to see you as worse as you can be. You need to see them as whiny and gripey as they're going to get. What better way than to be in the elements? And you may not like the elements, and that's a totally other subject. So be consistent and grow your groups a little at a time, and that happens by being together. Thanks for watching, and let's get ready.